Pancake everyone. Agile, undetectable by radars, capable of reaching supersonic speeds. That's what can be said about the participants on today's list. It's all that and more, because today we'll try to select the best fighter jet in the world. Modern fighter jets are engineering marvels that have been in development for decades. For example, the concept of fifth-generation fighters was conceived in the 1970s, although they only started rolling out of factories in the 21st century. What are these generations of fighter jets? The generation of jet fighters is a conditional grouping that can encompass aircraft models produced after 1945. The grouping is based on similar technical characteristics. The determination of which generation a fighter belongs to is based on the configuration of its airframe, engine, onboard systems, and weaponry. In some countries like China and Sweden, the generational classification is based on their national sequence of models rather than the global level of scientific and aviation development. But enough of the boring theory. Let's move on to the first candidate for the title of the best, and that is the fighter jet serving in the air forces of Sweden, Hungary, the Czech Republic, South Africa, and Thailand. The Saab JAS 39 Gripen was initially designed as a multi-role model. It was expected to serve as an attack aircraft, interceptor, and reconnaissance platform all at once. It also has the capability for short takeoffs from poorly prepared airfields, possesses high maneuverability, and is highly optimized for combat operations in Sweden's conditions. And judging by the orders from Brazil, Switzerland, and other countries, this model has caught the attention of many. It is constantly being improved, with increases in maximum takeoff weight, range, and flight speed. In the next generation, Saab is considering electric engines. In general, the Swedes are in their element, always considering environmental factors first and foremost. The French Dassault Rafale offers a wide range of armament for various tasks, including air superiority, interception, aerial reconnaissance, anti-ship strikes, and nuclear deterrence. The majority of the technology used in the production of this fighter, such as voice command systems and frontal infrared search sensors, was developed domestically rather than purchased from abroad. Introduced into service in the late 1990s, this fighter jet, thanks to its open software architecture and constant updates, remains in demand to this day. Within France, the Dassault Rafale will be the mainstay of the French Air Force until 2040. This model can also be found in the arsenals of Egypt, India, Qatar, Greece, the United Arab Emirates, Croatia, and Indonesia. The wing design of the French fighter jet allows for maximum maneuverability. But due to overall aerodynamic instability, a remote control system is installed on the jets to facilitate flight. Despite the use of technologies to reduce infrared emissions and constant modifications to the fuselage, tail assembly, and air intakes, the French Dassault Rafale cannot be considered a full-scale stealth aircraft. The next contender for the title of the best is the American F-22 Raptor. If you've seen movies where fighter jets turn invisible and disappear on the spot, the creators were likely inspired by the existence of this model. The United States does not sell this model to other countries because they consider the fighter too advanced. A special light-reflecting coating allows the aircraft to stay hidden for as long as possible. It has an infrared search and track system, streamlined external fuel tanks for long-range flights that can be jettisoned for improved aerodynamics and speed. This fighter jet is so technologically advanced that some consider it the sole representative of the fifth generation, and the Americans are already aiming for the sixth. However, there are challenges. For example, due to the technical peculiarities, pilots of this fighter cannot communicate and guide pilots of other fighter jet models. Well, they can, but they would need a special helmet, of which only 6 were made. And apparently they made so few because when these helmets were activated and transmitting signals, they would compromise the aircraft's invisibility and make it detectable by radars. Furthermore, due to its structural characteristics, the internal weapon base of the aircraft are limited and can only carry 8 units of weaponry. The 4 external hardpoints for weapons are usually not used because their load significantly affects the maneuverability and detectability of the fighter jet. Production of the Raptors ended in 2010, but to this day the F-22 remains the most expensive fighter jet in the world. One Raptor cost the US budget $400 million, including upgrades. However, a full-size jet made of gold would be cheaper. The Chinese Chengdu J-20 is simultaneously similar to and different from all fifth-generation fighter jets. It resembles the MiG 1.42 prototype from the top and the American F-22 from the front. But don't mention this to the Chinese. They will vehemently deny it. The characteristics of the J-20 are also ambiguous. On one hand, it's all-weather capable, and its stealth level is better than that of the Su-27. But experts claim it's only from the front. From the side, the J-20 can be easily detected. Moreover, the Chinese aircraft lacks a supersonic engine and has to rely on engines purchased from Russia, specifically retired Russian engines, which inevitably affects its maneuverability. Currently, it is slow and heavy, but there is still time for improvement. While the production of the American Raptor was discontinued and extensively modified by 2011, the Chinese J-20 made its first flight in November 2011. In 2022, it was announced that China would transition to Chinese engines and commence low-rate production. There isn't much information available on this, so we can only speculate that over time the models will become lighter and faster. Another fifth-generation fighter jet with sixth-generation technologies is the AMCA, an Indian multi-role and low-observable stealth fighter designed to perform combat missions. The sixth generation encompasses hypersonic weapons, unmanned capabilities, and even the use of artificial intelligence. To reduce radar reflections on the blades, increase stealth, and utilize internal weapon base, AMCA incorporates composite and other advanced materials in its design. Special serpentine-shaped air intakes enhance the stealthiness of the aircraft's blades, while the twin-tail configuration also contributes to its stealth capabilities. The cockpit with panoramic visibility, a panoramic touchscreen display, and a wide-angle holographic display transports us into science fiction movies. Indeed, determining the best fighter jet is a challenging task as countries compete and embellish or even withhold information about future projects. Back in World War II, the British ministry spread a rumor that their pilots were hitting their targets with exceptional accuracy due to the introduction of carrots into their diet. Allegedly, the high vitamin A content in carrots improved the pilots' vision to the extent that they could detect enemy aircraft and hit them even at night. According to the legend, the precision of British pilots astonished the German leadership, leading to an order to include carrots in the daily menu. All this was done solely to conceal the introduction of radar equipment on British aircraft from the enemy. Speaking of which, while the F-22 is equipped with a single radar system, the Su-35, nicknamed Gorinich, has 5 of them. The Su-35 is a highly significant modification of the Soviet-era Su-27, which was initially given a new name to facilitate export abroad. But it didn't stop at just renaming. The engine was modified to allow thrust vectoring, enabling the engine nozzles to rotate in any direction. As a result, the manufacturers created a super-maneuverable marvel of technology. It is more aerodynamic than the F-22 and outperforms it in terms of maximum speed and flight range. But it noticeably lacks stealth due to the characteristics of its fuselage design. Although it was initially intended for export, the main users of this fighter jet model are the People's Republic of China and the Russian Federation. What do you think? Should a complex piece of equipment like a fighter jet be multifunctional? Maybe the United States decided so and started developing the F-35 Raptor. During its design, the US Air Force aimed to create a versatile model suitable for aircraft carriers, the Army, and the Marine Corps, thus meeting all NATO's requirements until 2070. Some may argue that chasing universality leads to compromises in quality. However, the manufacturers proudly refer to it as a multi-role and all-weather fighter, although it did not come without initial challenges. It incorporates reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and air-to-ground missile capabilities. Launched into low-rate production in 2006, the F-35 was tested in combat by the Israeli Air Force in 2018. To improve the stealth effect, designers didn't just rely on radio-absorbent materials or carefully shaping the fuselage. They went as far as special edge alignment, removing burrs and specially masking the turbines. The unique coating requires less maintenance and offers greater durability. And while previous models displayed all the information on a screen, now the essential data is projected onto the helmet visor, allowing the pilot to monitor information even while looking around. However, even such a technological marvel has its drawbacks. For example, the noise generated by the F-35 raised concerns among civilians living near military bases. Experts note that the new F-35 produces as much noise as the 4th-generation F-16 fighter. Additionally, it was intended to be a low-cost replacement for the F-22, but due to development difficulties, the unit cost skyrocketed, surpassing the F-22 as the most expensive fighter. Over time, the challenges were overcome, and the unit cost started to decrease, attracting the interest of other countries. Unlike most fighters in this list, the South Korean KF-21 Boramae fighter jet currently does not have internal weapon base, which is considered an essential characteristic of fifth-generation fighters. Therefore, it is considered a 4.5 generation model. But don't dismiss it from our competition just yet. Yes, the designers didn't aim to compete with the US and their F-35. The Koreans simply wanted a model better than the F-16, and they even specified the percentages: 50% greater flight range and a 34% longer service life. And not only did they achieve that, the new modification will include changes to the airframe, the addition of internal weapon base, sensor upgrades, and from the interim variant, the Koreans will have a solid fifth-generation fighter. Already on board are electronically scanned radar, infrared search and track system, electro-optical targeting system, radio frequency jammer, multifunctional display, and flight control computer. Yes, there have been numerous corruption scandals surrounding this fighter, which slows down the search for partners for joint work. Consequently, it may affect the updates. What can you do? Each aircraft on this list has its own shortcomings. Let's take a break from the intense race of the best fighter jets. Many people, even those who don't follow tennis closely, have heard of the Roland Garros tournament. Wait, you might ask, how is a Grand Slam tennis tournament related to videos about fighter jets? Well, it turns out that the stadium and the tournament in France were originally named after the first fighter pilot Roland Garros, who participated in World War I. The funny fact is that despite the tournament's significance, few athletes could answer the question of who Roland Garros actually was. But now you know. And now let's get back to our candidates. The Chinese fighter known as the J-31 is intended to be a replacement for countries that cannot afford the F-35. During the prototype stage, experts noted that the fighter consumed a lot of energy, making it difficult for the pilot to keep the nose up even without a payload. However, in subsequent modifications, the design was improved. The body lines were smoothed, the aerodynamics were enhanced, the stabilizers, guidance systems, and electronics were refined for greater stealth. In terms of all parameters, the J-31 is smaller than the already known J-20. And although it was conceived as a replacement for the F-35, externally and in many configurations, it resembles the F-22 more. To achieve more effective stealth coating is used, which can make the fighter invisible to many radar systems. And to reduce radar and infrared signatures, the engines will be modified over time. American experts, on the other hand, believe that such a fighter can only replace the F-35 under specific circumstances and conditions, and it is more likely to replace fourth-generation aircraft. Now, the Su-57 is a different story, with a modification already planned for unmanned control. It is smaller in size, lighter in weight, and more stealthy than the Su-35, making it elusive for most outdated radar systems and some modern radar systems. The movie stealth is becoming a reality before our eyes. There are also plans to improve the engine of the Su-57, allowing it to achieve supersonic speeds without additional acceleration. But even without modifications, the Su-57 features advanced sensor systems, spacious internal base that enable multi-role capabilities and maneuverability along all axes, allowing it to perform highly complex aerial maneuvers such as the Bell maneuver or the Pugachev's Cobra. Various tricks were used in the development of the Su-57 to enhance its stealth capabilities, making it the first Russian stealth fighter. However, compared to American models like the F-22 and F-35, the tail section of the Su-57 is considered a weak point due to its less optimized shape. So which fighter do you think is the best of the best? The American Raptor or the Russian Sukhoi? Or perhaps you prefer the dark horse from China? Write your choices in the comments. And if you enjoyed the topic of comparing different aircraft capabilities, there's already a video on the channel about the best tanks as of 2023. To not miss out on new reviews, topics and facts, click the subscribe button so that the notification bell appears. Meanwhile, I'll go and choose a topic for the next video. Stay tuned!